Hey guys, Pedro here, back with another video, and it's a video that I didn't really expect for me to make, given how late it is. Time is 12:43 a.m. The day is October 4th, 2024, and god damn it, massive news just broke the Valorant scene, and goddamn, it is shocking, and as for what those news is, Riot just put out an update for the 2025 VCT season, and they kind of already had a statement prepared. But as you can see from what I wrote down on the quote tweet of said statement, in layman's terms, Bleed Esports just got booted out of VCT. Boom Esports take their place, and my reaction to that is, there you go. What the fuck is going on? And as for what the fuck is going on, that kind of Riot elaborates much more on said fucking. And so I'm gonna read to you the statement right here. After careful consideration, Riot Games said the decision to remove Bleed Esports from the Valorant Champions Tour in VCT Pacific. Bleed Esports was terminated due to its failure to comply with critical reporting requirements and other key obligations under the Team Participation Agreement (TPA). Removal of a team from the Riot Games esports ecosystem is not something we take lightly. However, due to the persistent operational failures of the team, Bleed Esports will no longer participate in VCT Pacific to protect the best interests of the players and the league. The individual players affected were informed of the decision as soon as it was made to allow them to explore other opportunities as quickly as possible. In line with our commitment to merit-based qualification, Boom Esports, the runner-up from Ascension Pacific 2024, will be promoted into the vacated slot. This change does not affect 2025 formats for UCT Pacific. The league will go forward with 12 teams as planned. So instead of the two partnered or the two ascended teams being Bleed and SPG, heading in to 2025, it will be Boom Esports and SPG. Boom Esports, as it was said, they will take Bleed Esports spot. Bleed Esports is no more in terms of competitive Valorant. And so, what does this mean? What does this fucking mean? I can't really tell you exactly on the deeper level because this news is so brand new that not even like a full day has passed from said news posting, and it's so brand new that I had to make a video not even an hour, not even 2 hours past the time it was put out. And yeah, as for many questions will definitely arise as to what happened and what kind of necessitated for Riot Games to make a move like this. But obviously, the key words are failure to comply with critical reporting requirements and other key obligations. Operational moves can mean many things. It can mean monetarily speaking. It can mean logistically speaking. It could be things like a team no longer being able to be in a position where they could support a Valorant squad in any way. Maybe it's also them not even using the funds that Riot gave to them for the year in a very right way. Maybe handling the funds in a very improper way, and or maybe even like running the team in a way that would not really work out at all. You know, this is my assumption as to what might have gone down. Sure, I'm a journalist, but I'm not really that in the I'm not really like the insiders to the likes of, in an anonymotum or a purist, that kind of level. But still, I have my questions as to what kind of led to this to happen. And so yeah, the news hit everybody in a very immediate way, so immediate that people that were in the Bleed and Boom squad kind of reacted in a very raw fashion. And I think the tweet that is right here from Legia, the coach for Bleed, kind of sums it all up. Fuck my life, and goddamn, imagine being in the shoes of that person and being told that uh one day that you are preparing for 2025 and build off of the disappointment that was 2024 and kind of erase that memory. And then the other day, you are told that you no longer have a job and you no longer are in VCT, and you kind of are stuck in a limbo as to what you are supposed to do. And man, you could look at that on the other hand. goddamn, Blue Boom was in their minds thinking that they had kind of had to rebuild for 2025, or maybe even decide to, either get out of Valorant entirely, kind of like what M80 is doing in recent times, or decide to stick it out for another year and try again to reach VCT Pacific in 2025. And so to be told this news so soon and in a simultaneous way as how the bleed guys receive the news, goddamn, they must be like in cloud nine, pun intended. And yeah, one kind of thing I can kind of encapsulate is just looking at Meow, the coach for Boom, and kind of saying, "Tell me I'm not dreaming." God damn it, you are not dreaming. This is definitely a reality, and it's really a roller coaster of emotions for the two sides that are in this predicament, and to kind of emphasize how new and how immediate this was. Purist, as I mentioned, reported that Bleed was in the process of getting Aspas, amidst the entire roster mania from the end of 2024 into 2025. And so, for what this means, obviously, Aspas is not going to be in Bleed. It kind of has to join another team. Maybe he was going to be like Yay in the terms of a high profile name joining the likes of Bleed, minus the drama and all the negative stuff that happened after said signing. But still, Aspas has to look for another squad. Surely he won't find a hard time to do that. But for the rest of the other teams, the people that are in the squad, the players, the coaches, the support staff for Bleed Valorant, they're in a position, like I said, figuring out what they're supposed to do and how they're feeling, how rough this must be for them. And yeah, another thing I kind of want to touch upon is just the fact that uh, this is the first time that Riot actually booted a team from BCT in Tier 1. Obviously there were plenty of instances where people wanted Riot to do this decision. The one thing I kind of look back on is Evil Geniuses in 2023. After winning Champions 2023 and claiming the throne as the best team in the world, they decided to go full budget and attempted to slash the salaries, or tried slashing the salaries of the players that just won them the world championship. Obviously, the vast majority of them left, except for Jogimo and Potter. Uh, and Evil Geniuses kind of adjusted from them being an organization that was covering various esports titles, as it usually was, to just them covering Valorant. Basically, many people within the scene, many fans, even many, writers, even journalists were clamoring for Riot to kind of take the decision, you know, go in consideration of the TPA, review that and have that be the basis for booting EG out at the very end of the day. And even also one thing that I kind of want to bring up is that EG was also like in the process of just getting out of VCT entirely. There was a report by Sheep Esports from Alejandro Gomez and Animotum that said that EG was attempting to shop their slot to a bidder, another org that was looking to take their place for a sum. And so Riot kind of said no to that because uh, in a league like this, in a league like VCT Americas, VCT China, VCT EMEA, VCT Pacific, it is not a franchise league. As much as everybody says it is, or they believe it is, or as much as they also call this a franchise league, this is not a franchise league. Riot has kind of said time and time again that this is a partnership league, and it is a league where they take into consideration the team's performance, the team's workings at the end of each season, uh, and just kind of say, okay, hey, we're loving the things you do, just keep it up, or hey, you're not doing the things that we expected out of you when you joined the league, so you gotta adjust, or else we might boot you out. And yeah, This is the first time where it actually happened, where Riot actually took the actual step and booted a team out, booted an org out, and have another one take its place. And TPA, that's another thing that I kind of want to touch upon also, just kind of looking into what exactly were the things that Riot wanted a certain squad to do under the team participation agreement. Uh, this is the same document that the Guard, if you remember, didn't sign, infamously didn't sign after winning VCT Ascension Americas. Uh, that led to uh, the players to look for another org. Well, first off, they kind of were had to deal with the situation that they were not going to be in Tier One for 2024, and then after they got the okay from Riot, then they had to look for another home. That home ended up being G2, and so the question as to what exactly is the TPA or what is in the TPA kind of comes into focus, and what were some of the prerequisites that Riot put forward that puts a team that kind of obligates a team to adhere to it. And so with Bleed being very short of that TPA, it kind of has one to think that, what's in it. Because up to my knowledge, there's not been any disclosure as to what that TPA is and where that TPA is or where a TPA can be read. Um, but still, with the use of the TPA, Riot is able to take Bleed out and put us in the position where Boom is in Bleed's shoes and they will uh, compete in Tier One for 2025. So what does this mean? Obviously, I cannot tell you. It's like I said, it's been 2 hours, less than 2 hours since the news broke, and it's so new that obviously I don't know what does this mean for Boom. What does this mean for Bleed? Will Bleed stay in Valorant? Maybe not. Maybe they'll just kind of step away indefinitely, or maybe they'll just say fuck it, we'll just try again for Ascension. But you got to understand that for an org to go for Ascension, they have to spend a lot of resources to make that happen. Obviously the example is M80, and look how that turned out. Sometimes constant hard work does not pay off in the end. And so, yeah. And what does this mean for Boom? Obviously, they now have to adjust and they now have to be in a position where they have to cover the logistics, cover the many salaries of the players, cover the team that they want to build, and look for the players that they want to build. Improve their squad, improve their roster, maybe stick it out in the same team as Gentlemates did. We'll see. We'll see what happens. We'll see what goes on, and whatever does happen, I'll be sure to cover it in due time. And so, goddamn, bleed it out, boom in, Pedro finish. So, see you guys in the next one.